Hi guys, I'm Eric, and welcome back to CanadaCasino, your guide for online gambling. In this video, we're going to go over 3 crucial beginner's tips for Pot Limit Omaha to get you started playing as soon as possible. Let me introduce to you blocker cards. You might be wondering, what are blocker cards? Understanding them is an important part of Omaha poker strategy. Blocker cards are cards that block or reduce the chance of your opponent holding certain cards. A good example would be when there's 3 cards to a flush in the community cards, and you're holding the ace of that suit. You have the knowledge that it's not possible for anyone else to have the best flush or strongest hand if a flush does come up. Having blocker cards can allow you to put pressure on your opponents and create an ideal situation to bluff. It helps if you understand Omaha poker hands. Your opponents cannot have the strongest hand, so you can put them to the test and see what they're really made of. For instance, you have the ace of hearts, and there are 3 hearts on the board. Your opponent doesn't know if you have the ace or another heart. What he does know is that he doesn't have the ace, so even if a flush does come up, he can't afford to call you or bet aggressively, for all he knows is you do have 2 hearts and one of them is the ace. Our second tip: don't play with weak hands. There are many Omaha starting hands that can appear to be like a strong hand, but on further evaluation, they're terrible. A good example of this will be holding 3 of a kind. Your first reaction is, great, I have 3 of a kind. But remember, in Omaha rules, you can only use 2 cards from your hand, so that means there's only 1 card left in the deck that could help you out. Another example, playing 4 cards of 1 suit can look pretty appealing at first, especially if they're somewhat connected to any part of a straight. But actually, this is not good. Having 4 of 1 suit means you're blocking the cards that you need to make your flush from appearing on the community cards. This also means you're not able to hit or chase other draws, as your hand will only be drawing for flushes. Having 2 flush draws in your hand is better than 1. And best of all is the ace, ace, king, king, double suited. So get as close to that as you can with your starting hand and you will do well. Think carefully about the Omaha starting hands you're playing, and don't waste time with weak hands or hands with poor drawing potential. Texas Hold'em is the breeding ground for Omaha poker players, and many of the Texas Hold'em players who cross the fence bring their old Hold'em habits with them. For instance, in Hold'em, a high pair is a great starting hand, and although not guaranteed, large pots can still be won with them. Players thinking and playing like this, turning up at Omaha poker tables, will soon lose their chips. When it comes to starting hands in Omaha, high pairs just don't have the same equity as they do in Texas Hold'em. Mid pairs are often played aggressively in Hold'em, but you just can't do that in Omaha. They'll go nowhere. If you play them at all, you'll tread lightly and get out early unless you have a really great draw, which just isn't that likely with middle pairs. If you raise with those middle pairs and even top pairs, the chances are you'll be throwing your chips down a rabbit hole. Okay guys, that about wraps up our video of our top 3 crucial beginner tips for Pot Limit Omaha. Always remember the blocker cards, not to play weak hands, and not to put too much emphasis on your starting hands. If you learned something, make sure to like and comment, and don't forget to subscribe for more gambling content coming soon. I'll see you guys next time.